Our Region's Business is sponsored by PNC for the Achiever in You. Our Region's Business. Innovation, transformation, momentum, improving our communities and driving technologies that will shape our region for generations. The collaboration that brings vitality, prosperity, and life to living. Stay with us for the coming half hour as we examine in depth our region's business. Now, here's your host, Bill Flanagan.
Today on Our Region's Business, charting pathways to college at Urban Pathways Charter School. Plus a new charter school that's focused on science, technology, research, engineering, the arts, and math. And it's being offered online. But first, realizing the promise. The first students to receive scholarships from the Pittsburgh Promise have graduated from four-year colleges this year, and this spring they and many other Promise recipients gave back to the community that made college possible for them. On May 31st and June 1st, graduating scholars and current students contributed volunteer service throughout the Pittsburgh region as a way of saying thanks. Sarah Walsh is a graduate of Robert Morris University and a Promise Scholarship recipient, and Saleem Ghubril is Executive Director of the Pittsburgh Promise. And welcome. Good to have you both here.
Thank you, Bill. Good to be with you.
Yeah, and Sarah, congratulations. Graduating from college, big deal.
Yes.
Yeah, so what's your major?
I'm a business marketing major.
Business marketing major, Robert Morris, of course, great reputation for business and marketing, all that kind of stuff. Great experience in college?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I loved it.
So it'd be a good endorsement for your alma mater now that you have one, right?
Yeah.
How important was the Promise and the scholarship money you were able to receive to being able to attend the university?
I always knew I wanted to go to college, so the funds were there, but the Pittsburgh Promise really made the difference of going to a two-year school opposed to a four-year school. So
what were you thinking originally? I know for the Promise you might have had to do a couple of years at community college before you could have gone on?
Yeah, so originally my plan was to go to community college for a few years and then maybe transfer into a four-year school, but I really wanted the four-year experience, so the Pittsburgh Promise really allowed me to take that step.
And you're glad you were able to do that? Was it a great experience to have all 4 years at one university?
Yes, oh my gosh, I would do it again in a heartbeat. So.
That's really cool. Not that there's anything wrong with going to community college first and then matriculating. It can be a great financial strategy, but a great case. Is that what this sort of celebration that's been going on this spring is all about, stories like Sarah's?
Absolutely. You know, when we launched the Promise Bill 4 years ago, we essentially said that not only will we send students to college, we want to be a part of transforming the culture of public education in the city of Pittsburgh and eventually the quality of life in our neighborhoods. And then finally, we would like to see an infusion of young energy, creative energy, educated energy of our own locally born and bred talent into the region's workforce and into the region's base of community volunteers. So we promised that. That's actually one of our strategic goals that's right there in print. So now it's time to deliver, to pay up on this.
And how many students are there graduating right now from four-year schools?
We have 3,200 students currently in college on a scholarship from the Promise. About 200 students already graduated from two-year schools, and then we think in the season, by the time we're all done, we will have another 400 who will have completed their four-year degree and be ready to enter the marketplace or go on to graduate school.
Very cool. Scattered all over Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah.
In terms of the schools they went to?
Those are the boundaries. Any school in the Commonwealth, two-year or four-year, public or private, trade or technical, faith-based or secular, any school that's accredited and approved by the Department of Education, we will fund.
Wow. Was that a limitation at all for you, though? I mean, you picked Robert Morris, is fairly close to home. Yeah.
No, I wanted to stay in Pittsburgh. It's my home. I loved it. And Robert Morris was close enough where I could leave the house, but I could be close enough if I needed to come home. So it was a good choice for me.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for that, for sure. I mean, a lot of high hopes for the project, or the Promise, when it was first created. Do you think it's realizing the vision at this point, Saleem?
I am so encouraged, Bill. I am convinced that right now we are on the cusp of seeing some really significant outcomes that will be a direct result of the work of the Promise. We have seen, by the way, in the last 5 years, the number of our schools that meet federal No Child Left Behind requirements double. From 39% of our schools to 70% of our schools today are meeting the benchmark that is required by No Child Left Behind. When we started, the average graduation rate for our district was 62%. Some of our schools were graduating over 99%, some around 40%. So the average was 62%, and we are committed to growing that average to a minimum of 85%, where we bring the bottom up to a a respectable number. We have seen that number grow from 62 to 70% already in the last 4 years. We have seen the precipitous declines in the population and in the enrollment of the district come to a stop. And as you know, just in recent weeks, the most recent census report told us that Pittsburgh grew for the first time in 50 years. Whether those things are a result of the promise or not, frankly, I don't care. What I care about is that these outcomes are being delivered, and those are things that we absolutely celebrate.
Well, when you were back in high school, were you conscious of this? Was this on your mind in terms of the opportunity the promise was going to create for you?
Not right away, I don't think. I was the first class when it was announced, so I don't think I really understood how big it was, and but I'm thankful for it. So
did it become more and more part of the conversation with you and your classmates as you got closer and closer to the reality of college?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. I think everyone was a little bit scared. You know, graduating high school, it's a new chapter in our lives, but it's a very exciting time, and I'm just glad I was able to receive it. It was great. For sure.
Well, the friends you knew and everything, did it seem to make a difference for a lot of them as well in terms of their ability then to go on? Yes,
definitely, I think so. I mean, from a lot of my friends, I saw that that college might not have even been an option at all without the promise. So, you know, it's been a great help in many people's lives.
Really cool. How much money's been raised so far to make that? I know UPMC was the big lead giver in all of this that sort of made it real.
I will never get tired of saying thank you to UPMC for their remarkable investment. In order for the promise to be kept, you know, it's easy to make a promise, but in order to honor it, it'll require a $250 million commitment. So when we did the number crunching and came up with that number as the required number, we knew that somebody had to step up in a big way, and that somebody was UPMC. They right away committed to $100 million. They gave us $10 million right away to get started, but then they pledged another $90 by way of a challenge grant. UPMC gives us $1 for every $1.50 that somebody else puts on the table. So UPMC put $100 million on the table, and now since that, another $52 million has been dropped on the table. So we're over 60% of the way toward the goal of $250. And considering that we announced this at the beginning of the downturn in the economy, it is absolutely breathtaking that Pittsburgh's foundations and corporations and individuals, that Pittsburgh as a city has made such a substantial commitment to this. Thank you, Pittsburgh.
Pretty remarkable, and I assume if somebody wants to stroke you a check, there's a website or something they can find out more.
PittsburghPromise.org. We made it easy.
All right. Well, it's exciting. Great to see the success so far. Sarah Walsh, congratulations. Best of luck on the job search.
Thanks.
New business marketing graduate out there if anybody's looking. Okay, Saleem, Ghubril from the Promise. Thank you both so much.
Thank you, Bill.
Appreciate it. Yeah. And when we return, from STEM to STEAM to STREAM, a new charter school that's guiding students from our region toward careers in science, technology, research, engineering, the arts, and math. Stay with us.